Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Generational Health with my co-host, Miss Whitney. How are you today?
I'm doing good. The sun is out. It's a little hot. It's a little hot over here, but I'm not complaining about hot because we only get 2 seconds of hot in Michigan. So
Oh,
I'm
that's for sure. Two
I'm good.
seconds is for sure. You good?
I'm good. What about you?
I am doing absolutely fantastic today. I am so excited about everything that's going on. And, our subject today, before we get to our subject today, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. I'm excited about our subject today, which is the capacity to change. I think that's a huge, huge topic, a huge subject. And I think, if you really think about it, do we really sometimes allow ourselves change? Or do we get so stuck in our way that we hinder ourselves from the growth that is phenomenal? Sometimes the well, change is sometimes scary,
Yeah,
but it is necessary for you to actually reach your potential. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's required to change is required to grow. I mean, it's how we are like physiologically wired as people. Like, in order for us to grow, our bodies have to change, they have to adapt. Like, our bones have to grow, things have to stretch. Like, in order for us to have kids, our bellies have to grow. Our organs have to move. Like, that doesn't sound fun. Like rearranging your stomach and all that, that doesn't sound fun. Bones shifting, that doesn't sound fun. It's often very painful to change. But I think if you don't allow yourself that capacity to grow, like internally, you become like stagnant, and you stop growing and you stop developing, and the world keeps going on, people keep moving on, growing, and you just kind of get stuck.
Absolutely, I agree. I remember years ago when, when your brother was growing, and because he was growing at such a rapid pace, and he was playing football, and as he was growing, his legs were stretching, and he used to just always, complain about the aches and pains of his legs growing. But now, as a grown man, no longer having those aches and pains in his legs, he is over 6 feet tall, So actually, yeah, for us to get to our highest potential, if you will, our greatest potential, we have to allow for the growing pains. We were talking about that earlier, and I've been talking about, I'm in a surreal experience right now because, I finally published my book, and, I'm plugging it, Smoothie Time, available at barnesandnobles.com, available at amazon.com, available at authorhouse.com, and just talking about it's smoothie time and how it actually came about, in just thinking about all of the growing pains. See, when I was in the car accident, you sometimes you think that that's like, oh my god, the horrible thing that's happened, which it is, but then you realize that sometimes you may have been racing so fast that you were getting ready to go into a brick wall. And so that that's something that happens. You may not be able to see it right then, but it changed the whole trajectory of your life.
Hmm.
And so who knows if I would have even sat down long enough, or been sit down long enough to actually write a book, and no less than write a book, but actually to be able to publish it. And that's why it's a surreal experience, because it's like when you look at those things that happen in your life that change you in a whole different direction, you're like, oh my Lanta, I often say God's plans are so much greater than our plans. That's why he don't let us know the whole story. He just gives us just enough light for the step that we're on.
My goodness. And that part right there has been challenging for me, for because I'm such a I don't know, I'm such a planner, and I'm such like I'm a melancholic personality type. Like, I'm very much so like boom 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 bow. What's the plan? What we doing? And to also be a person of faith, and to know that, okay, well, if God want to go left today and then you want to go right tomorrow, like, you got to be able to like adjust. I know that personally has been a challenge for me, because it's like I think I planned out when I was in college I literally planned out every time I decided I may want to change my major, I'm just considering the possibility. I would go through the entire course catalog. I would map out all the classes, when are all the class times. I would create like schedules of like, this is what my day would look like if I decided to go with this major. And that's like the depth of how I plan in my mind and stuff. So for
Mhm.
me, that has been a struggle, because it's been like, okay, well, we're not doing that anymore. So now what? And it's like, what do you mean? But that's a place of growth for me. And I think me being able to shift and to adjust, just in different seasons of my life, regardless of what the plan is, I think that's the part that grows me. I think God is super dope in the way that he like, every person is unique and every person is different, and how we're formed and how we interact and respond and live life and all that. And I think he uses different things to grow different people, because for my husband, he's a planner, kind of, but he's more so like creative, take the leap, jump. Like, I'll jump off the thing first and then look down to see what's down there kind of person, just like my mom, guys. And for me, I'm like, well, how many steps does it take to get to the end? And when you look down there, what's down there? Do I need to have a backpack so we can prepare for whatever's down there when we get there? And so for both of us, to change requires to deepen our capacity for change requires something different. For him,
Mhm.
growing his growth is in learning how to plan a little bit. And for me, my growth is in learning how to go with the flow a little bit. And so like every person has their own unique like path to deepen their capacity for change. And I just think that's so cool. That's so cool.
And it's so funny because, and I don't know if, and I had to really think as you were talking about that. I think because I've been, in and out of being singleness for so long, and never really being in a relationship for a long or a length of time, and well, let me go back, saying a healthy relationship for a length of time. So even in a relationship, I was still by myself, and that's kind of, so still thinking that, wow, you know what, through the years and as things have changed, I think I have a piece of both. I understood that it takes the planning part of it, and it takes the crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And then so I'm fighting with myself. I sound like, what is that movie? Was it Sybil? I sound like Sybil because something I thought about. Well, I had to make her, be technical, and then I had to make her, because I am to jump out the plane and build the plane on the way down. Like, wait a minute, hold on, we need oxygen. Oh crap, I didn't get oxygen. Then the Lord says, "Here, my child, I'm giving you oxygen." And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, I need the tools. Wait, hold on. And then the Lord says, "Here, my child, I'm giving you tools. Wait, I need a mentor. I need a mentor. Here, my child, I need a mentor. Wait, I need a parachute because I'm getting to the ground. Lord, help me. Give me a parachute." He says, "Here, my child, here's a parachute because I don't know what I'm going to do with you."
Yep. Then you get down to the end, you pop up and you say, oh, that was fun.
Right. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. A whole bunch of near misses on that one. No, wait a minute. Oh, another plane. Wait a minute.
Right. Oh my goodness. Right. Yes.
Wait, that was shinier. Hold on. I'll be back. I'm shiny. Go to this one. My children, at the meantime, let me tell you all. When I first had the accident, this was so funny. I will never ever forget this as long as I live. When I first had the accident, and I'm actually, as we continue to grow and go, I'm actually in the midst of my second manuscript, in the midst of everything else. Here go the plane. Here go the other plane, right? So people kept saying, you need to write your story. You need to tell your story because, man, I've lived a lot for one person of my age. And so, people say, you need to write your story. And so I'll tell more details about it later. But, when I was first in the car accident, and I said before, I have such an issue with showing people when I'm hurt. For some reason, it's embarrassing to me. And I know I still have to work through that through therapy, but it's like, I can't be hurt. I don't have time to be hurt. I don't have time to, I don't have time to sit down, But, so when I first had the accident, and my children, they all, knew, that I wasn't supposed, that I tore a ligament in my neck, which was unrepairable. They couldn't repair it. So I wasn't supposed to be like in go-karts. I wasn't supposed to be, in a horse or, shaking up. Right. So we're dry. I don't know if you remember this, but of course I want to go-kart racing, right?
Mhm.
So we go-kart racing, and now my daughter Whitney and my sons and everybody, my daughter Tatiana and Trayvon and Travis. I
I got
remember we're in the go-kart and I'm first in, and they're like, no, mom, you can't go. I'm in the go-kart, and I'm just going. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, there are no cars coming around. There are no cars to bumper with and nothing. And I'm like, I'm just flying because I love speed. And I'm flying around the racetrack, And I'm like, I look back and they didn't guard it. They didn't all, roll themselves behind me so nobody can get around to bump me. I'm like, well, that's the point of go-kart racing. But I just thought about that when I said, I was the one that just jumped out the plane. I wasn't the usual average mom. And so I jump out the plane or I jump in the go-kart and here they go, they're around me like, okay, she's going to race. She's going to race by herself because y'all not going to bump her, But that's, and I'm not sure, I guess part of my next book, I'll have to interview each one of my children and just find out what their experience of me have been, because I'm sure they probably all have books themselves, y'all, about their mom. But we're
story. Just a sweet story.
right. So we're talking about like the capacity to change. And man, I guess, what do you think about, like, and we were talking about how, you come to certain age milestones and talk a little bit more about that. That was very interesting.
I was just thinking, like, how the arbitrary people that don't exist, just how people are like, when you hit this age, when you hit 18, you're going to feel different. When you hit 21, you're going to feel different. When you hit these certain ages, for me, I was always excited because I'm very much so, again, like a rule person. And for me, if someone says something, I'm like, oh, that's a rule. Okay, so when I hit 18, I'm going to feel different. So here I am, 17 and one day, and I'm like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to feel different. And 18 comes and I'm like, oh, not too much different here. Like, I mean, I can do some things legally that I couldn't before, or 21 that I couldn't before, but I didn't really feel different. And then something happened at 33, and I don't know what, I wasn't expecting to feel different. I think in the back of my mind, I'm always like, well, Jesus did a lot at 33, so I have some high, some high expectations to feel. But that's just kind of been in the back of my mind. I didn't really expect to like feel different, but I completely do. And I think it's, I don't know what happened or what shifted. I feel like my voice is deeper, like as a woman. I don't know if that means just the tone of my voice or the weight behind what I'm saying. Like both of those feel different. Just me hearing my voice sounds different. Um, what I care about is different. Like you always wait to not care what people think. And I
Mm.
think I've been waiting for that for a long time, like knowing in my mind, you shouldn't care what people think. But then in my mind, caring what people think. And then 33 coming around being like, I really don't care what people think, but not
Wow.
knowing what shifted, what like flicked on, and thinking about it, just talking through it. I'm wondering if it is just me allowing myself to have the capacity to change without the expectation that change must occur now. Like,
That is absolutely a mouthful. That's absolutely, you know, I had so many revelations as you were speaking, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this, the podcast and the wellness of life, because there are so many facets and so many things that we go through at the different milestones, like what you just said. I'm sitting here thinking I am so grateful that you got that, not really caring what people think, as long as you are who you are meant to be and walking in your purpose, and know that you are being the best person that you can be. My thing is to do no harm to anyone, to serve, and as long as I'm doing that, to let other people own their stuff. And
yeah,
so I love the fact that you got it at 33. It took me to 55 to get it. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And so to get it at 33, I just love the all the possibilities of your experience of life being so different,
yeah,
because you don't have that in the back of your head. Like, I know that was one of the things that has hindered me in growing and actually in changing, because I had that was always so so, I want to say, shackled by worrying about what people think. And this is one of the things that I've always done for myself. I've always pushed me beyond what they said the plateau was, or what they said they, again, arbitrary people, doctors, or whomever it was. I pushed myself beyond what that was. And I don't know where that daring side of me came from,
Mm-hmm.
but I never wanted to walk in fear. I always wanted to walk in faith. And see, I'm literal. So this is where sometimes being literal is a little dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
because you turn off that I can't, or you turn off. It's like when children grow, and children grow up, and they don't know that stuff is dangerous. They don't know that they just free.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, that little girl inside of me kept being in the forefront. So she kept telling me there is no can't. So even when I was going through my, I had a plateau in my physical therapy, occupational therapy, all my therapies, and every year the doctors would tell me, "Wow, you the plateau, there was a plateau, and you were there, and now you went beyond it. Now you went beyond it." That's because I literally believed scripture that says, greater is he that's in me than he that's in this world, and that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I literally believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I know your mind is so important. Your mind is so valuable. It's so powerful, because what you believe, you can achieve.
Yeah.
And it's that what other people say, other people's opinions, other people's stuff, if you allow that to sit on your shoulders, that's what hinders you.
Mm. That's so good. That's so good. And I think I just adding on to that a little bit, because I know that I'm not, just for anybody that's out there that's listening or watching, like, I know that I haven't perfected it, but I know that it's something that we were talking about earlier is like awareness. For me, I'm learning awareness over perfection, awareness over perfection, like
Mm.
awareness over perfection. And just having awareness of certain things, as opposed to, for example, like people ask you, when as you're growing up, well, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Right? Like you have to identify who you are and put it in words of some sort and say, this is who I am. For me, that has always been a struggle, because I don't know. I was like, well, being this literal person, well, I don't know, bohemian chic. Back in high school, I was like, well, maybe I should be bohemian chic person, or maybe I should be like, I should wrap my hair and I'll be that person, or I should do this and I'll be that person, because I have to attach this identity with who I am. Like, I am this person. And that has always been a struggle for me, because I've never been able to sit there and say, I am this person. But something that I've learned as I've been meditating, and as I've been like studying meditation and emotional intelligence and just being present, is that my awareness of just myself in this moment is greater than me trying to put a label on who I am. Like just me
Mm.
being me right now in this moment. Me being me isn't me being a this person or a that person. I'm just existing right now. I am breathing. My organs are functioning. Like I am sitting here talking. I am aware. I can feel my body. Like I'm aware of my fingertips. I'm aware of my toes. I can like breathe. I'm just aware in this moment. I think that is what's really kind of helped me move into that. Well, I don't really care what people think, because I'm not thinking about them. I'm literally sitting here like being conscious of just my presence in the earth. And that for me has been a game changer in so many experiences in regards to like lowering my anxiety levels, like because my mind isn't racing so far ahead trying to figure out all these things, like lowering my anxiety levels, being present with my family, like being able to have a conversation without thinking 50 thoughts ahead, and like actually listening. Just me being aware and being present has helped me with that. I guess this is funny. I don't know if it's too personal or not, but again, I don't care. I
That's
was,
good. Practice what you preach, sister.
um, I was telling my husband, because he was like, well, I like the way you've been dressing here lately. I ain't been wearing bras. I just ain't feel like it. I just haven't been wearing bras. And I was like, but what is it that was so reserved about me before, that was like, oh, you have to have this on, you have to have that, you got to be strapped up, tightened up, do this, and like put together, and then you do that. And or I wouldn't wear shorts because I was ashamed of my legs. So somebody told me I had polka dot legs in high school. A boyfriend told me my thighs were too big. Like Another boyfriend told me he wanted to date me and this other girl because I had the face, but she had the body. Like all these things were just in the back of my mind growing up. And I think all that, me caring about all that was like, okay, well, I'm going to cover it up, tighten it up. Don't wear shorts. Don't let people see my polka dot legs. My boobs too little, put them back. Don't, all these things. And again, that 33 hit, and I'm like, I ain't had a bra on, and I don't know like how long. Like, I think my booty cheeks were showing yesterday when I went to the grocery store because my shorts were so short, but it was hot. So I but it was just like in that present moment awareness. I wasn't caring about what people think. And I told my husband, he was like, "What do you think changed?" And I was like, "I don't feel like so many eyes are on me anymore." And I think that ties
Oh,
back to that whole
wow.
capacity to change. It's like, will you allow yourself to just be present as you, how you feel in that moment, just you, without all these things attached to yourself. And that's how I feel at 33.
That is, you know what, and I hope, I pray that this gets or reaches to the ears of the young women that need to hear that, because there's some things that you said that I'm floored with. You know, I haven't wore shorts because somebody told me about the knock knee thing. You know, that it looked like a K, and so I finally learned to embrace it, and then got compliments on being a K. So I still have to overcome that. I'm not wearing shorts. I have to overcome that. Because wait, you got cute polka dot legs. You got legs like me. I got polka dot legs. And we haven't worn shorts for opposite reasons. So it's like, really? Wow, okay. I don't know about the booty cheek thing going on because I'm, 55. But embrace that. People like, why you say your age? I don't care. I
Yeah.
finally, I'm dropping that. I'm really dropping it. And I love what you said. But you know what's something? All these years, and I love that we're discovering things about one another because we are finally present with each other. We
Yeah.
finally have given each other this space and time that, we have our conversations offline, but we've given each other that space and time to be present with each other. Because I know I haven't been present for the majority of my life because I have been racing towards the next thing, racing towards healing, racing towards getting better, racing towards people not knowing that I'm in pain when I'm walking. People, like you said, all of that chatter coming in. And
Yeah.
something that you just said, I had no idea that all this time you were literal. I thought I was the only literal person in the family. I didn't even know I was literal till somebody told me one day, man, you're so literal. Look,
Yeah.
I said this, but I meant this. And I'm like, well, my mind doesn't compute to that. If you
Yeah.
say this is what I'm thinking that you're meaning. So I'm operating according to what you said, not what the abstract part of it. So I don't understand the abstract.
Yeah.
And I still don't understand the abstract part. So it still gets me into trouble. I used to get in trouble as a little girl because I was literal about what my parents said and they thought I was being a smart aleck or a smarty pants.
That's actually something I had to work through, excuse me, in therapy because I am very literal. I don't make assumptions, excuse me, and
Bless
I
you.
need to know expectations. Like if you say one thing, but you were expecting something else from me, sorry,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you didn't tell me you were expecting that, and then you get upset with me because I didn't give you what you expected but didn't communicate, that
Yes.
that literally is probably what put me in therapy because that's how I've lived my entire, not even adult life, but my entire maybe 18 to 33, 18 to 33,
Yes.
whatever it was,
Yes.
because then I felt inadequate because I could not meet an expectation that was not explained. And
Say that again, girl.
I felt inadequate because I could not meet an expectation that was not explained. And I was made to feel like there was something wrong with me because I couldn't read your mind, like, or I couldn't do what you thought I should have been able to do. That's why one of the things that's really important to me, even in my marriage with communication, is that we talk about those things like, okay, well, if you say this, this is what I'm going to assume you said because you said it. But if you want something else, you got to say it. And then over time, it's easier for us because we've been together and we mesh and we kind of get it. But like in all my relationships now, it's like whatever you say, that is what I cannot read your mind. I can't be expected to do that. And honestly, it is unfair, unrealistic, and unloving for you to expect me to be able to read your mind and assume what you want or what you need without you communicating it to me.
And see, I think this is so beautiful because this is one of those aha moments when the clouds open up and the angels start playing the music, because you said inadequate for not meeting an expectation that you were not aware of.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that is huge, because I think that's where we kind of, that's where people, get stuck in that. And I
Yeah.
think that is something that actually has plagued me my entire life, because I have felt inadequate, because again, just what you said, I have not met the expectations of other people, because they say, oh, you should have known that. Well, how can I know that? How am I supposed to know that? Like, really, how? So I've learned to be more, and another thing, something that we that I've learned to do, and I've learned it through therapy as well, is that to be clear on your expectations, to
Yeah.
be clear, to clear up any clouded situations, so
Mhm.
that you're not holding it on, because believe you me, the other person has gone on about it and maybe even not even thought anymore about it, have forgotten about it, or it's not even bothering them because it's your stuff. Like helping people around you to own their own stuff, and to be clear, and not to be embarrassed by, whatever the situation is. If you talk about it and you clear it up, then you can keep on moving, and you don't have to allow that to weigh on you. We talk a lot of in naturopathic medicine how 80% of illness is emotion.
Mhm.
And that is absolutely true. We carry those toxic emotions inside of us, and before we know it, we have other medical issues because of that toxicity that we carried inside of us. Something else that you said that was just really, really amazing: when we grow up, people say, what do you want to be? So the title is the end all and be all of everything. So now you're this, or you're expected to be that. I think the better question is, who do you want to be? What
Mhm.
type of characteristics do you want to possess as a person? What types of goals are you setting for yourself and for your life? What's your mission statement for yourself?
Yeah.
Versus the title. That title is heavy,
Mhm.
and there's an expectation that's associated with that title
Mhm.
versus with who that person is, because you can have a person in a title that has no integrity and a crappy character and don't care about anybody, but they got that title. So the respect should come from the content of the character
Mhm.
versus that title that somebody went and got.
Mm. My goodness. This is
I
good.
know.
Y'all listening? I hope y'all listening. This is good. Y'all should
I
take this,
know.
maybe rewind it, watch it again. I know I will.
I
Yeah.
know.
No, so good. That's so good. I think
Yes.
it's something you hit on too. And again, aligning with capacity to change. I think sometimes we feel embarrassed to share or communicate what we need, but life would be
Mm,
so much easier if everybody just said what they needed, as
mm-hmm.
opposed to like expecting someone to give it to you and feeling like, oh, well, they don't love me if they didn't know that I needed this. Like, what is that?
Yes.
That is
What?
arrogant. That is like prideful for me. And that is also, I think that is also a person being unwilling to grow themselves, because
mm,
really there's other things behind us not communicating what we need. There's stuff under that, like that has to be dug up. Well, why can't you communicate what you need? Have you tried to communicate what you needed before, and you received some pushback or resistance, and you just haven't dug back into it? Like, did someone hurt you when you did that? Like, there's work to be done there, because if you never communicate what you need and you always just expect people to give it to you, you're going to live a life of a lot of disappointment. And it's not the other person's fault, unfortunately. It's ours. We have to take that onus, and we have to do that work, and we have to figure out what it is. Because I'm telling you, even in my marriage, just telling my husband what I need, as opposed to waiting a week because I'm mad because he didn't notice such and such and didn't pick up. Like, life isn't about mystery clues and scavenger hunts to please people. Like, that's not what this is. Like,
Mystery clues and scavenger hunts. I love that.
nobody wants that.
I hope you guys are taking notes. This is so good. This is delicious. You said mystery clues and scavenger hunts.
Yes,
Mm-mm-mm.
this is not what we were sent here for. We have bigger purpose to accomplish. We have things to do together. We have like, impact to make in the world, and we all just around here trying to figure out what everybody else need, as opposed to like, no, what do you need? All right, let's do it. Boom, move on.
Oh my Lanta, it would be so wonderful if it was that way. And I know we're almost out of time. I know, but this is so good. It was something. Oh, you know what? I cannot wait to see the phenomenal young lady that our baby girl is going to be. Because I hear you telling her these things that you've learned, and I love it that I did the best that I could as a mom, and I finally accepted that. And you saying the other day, mom, you were good enough as a mom. You were good enough. You were enough. And that just rang in my spirit. I had feedback on that, and I was like, okay, people are watching, they're hearing, and hopefully they're learning and healing from it.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to see the phenomenal young lady Ms. Zoe is going to grow into, because I hear you talking to her with the gentleness that you're coaching and teaching everybody with. I hear you telling her, and I hear those teachable moments. Now, if you're going to we just said, if you're going to have fruit is one of my words, y'all.
Okay.
You got to eat your celery first. And then she goes into, so it's just like it's like a ebb and flow. It's like that. It's like a parenting on steroids. I'm just giving you that. I think it's phenomenal. Because she can reason with things like, okay, well, if I eat my carrots, I mean my celery, then I can have my fruit. Okay, I understand that. And she goes on, and I'm like, oh my Lanta, this is so wonderful. Just a peaceful conversation, and she's learning negotiation. She's learning strategies, as a little baby girl. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's phenomenal.
I know, Louis. Thank you. It's all glory to God, and thankful for a mother like you.
Oh, thank you.
You, because that's where all the seeds are there. I think that it made me think of a story yesterday. You saying her learning how to reason. It made me think of me as a kid, so I couldn't do anything about it. About how when my godmom told me I wanted to sit in her chair, and she said, "Well, that's my chair," and I said, "Well, your name is." She said, "Your name isn't on it," and so I went and I wrote a note and I put my name on the chair so I could sit in the chair. So yesterday, Zoe, as we're eating dinner, she had like some vegan sausage. She had some oranges, some salad, and some potatoes. And so fruit, that's her dessert. That's her thing, her treat. That works. So I told her, okay, honey, well, you eat the rest of your food first, and then you can have your oranges. So we look over, and she's eating an orange, and it's food on her plate. And we were like, no, wait. Like we said, you got to eat your food first and then your oranges. She was like, oh, well, I was eating a piece of sausage and an orange, a piece of potato and an orange. I said, okay, that's not really what I've meant.
She did say first. Oh my goodness.
Like, and that's
karma.
Life with Zoe. And I'm like,
yes,
that's also a space of growth for me, like capacity for change, because it's like, okay, well, I can't reprimand her for that. She's using her mind and her reasoning, and she's doing something I taught her. She's not being disobedient. She's just being an intelligent 4-year-old.
I am
more clear, and I need to communicate what I really need in a way that's clear next time. So
that's so phenomenal. And your godmother is going to be so tickled, because I'm going to make sure that she gets this episode and understands that I'm going to say, hey, Nicole, but she finally got the karma back.
Right.
So I guess with that, you just demonstrated the capacity to change and what it means and how phenomenal this life can actually be. Like I said, taking issues and circumstances and, those hurdles and challenges and turning them into stairs and just walking into your better tomorrow. And I'm not just saying it, but because I have the war wounds to back it up, that I'm actually living it. So did you have anything that you wanted to leave us with today? Because that Zoe thing just tickled me.
I think today it would just be, I guess, maybe no matter how old you are, whether you're, you've hit this milestone age or that milestone age or that milestone age, just be open to learn new things about yourself every day, sometimes moment by moment. And don't get so caught up on like, oh, I should be here by this, or I should be here by this, or I should be doing this by this. Like, just be, and you'll realize how great a gift just being actually is.
Wow, just be. And you just gave us a fantastic gift. And you really did. So I appreciate you. And, wow, everybody. I really don't have anything to close with. She said it all. We can drop the mic right there or pick the mic back up, as Pastor TD Jake says, pick the mic back up. So don't forget, everybody. Wait, it's smoothie time. I won't plug it. It's smoothie time. Don't forget to go get your copies. And hey, meet us. We're gonna work on a virtual book signing and also a book signing here in Michigan. So make sure that you get your copies and support. We just need to support one another, support our visions, and they'll skyrocket. They'll blow up. So again, I thank everybody for their support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with someone else. And until next time, bye for now and stay fearless.